So today we learn about how to onboard Active Directory, how to integrate Active Directory with SailPoint. So in last session we have discussed about how to onboard JDBC application. Today we learn how to integrate Active Directory with SailPoint. Yes. To onboard any application, what is the process? Log into IdentityIQ. Here we name it as MyKID. So IdentityIQ home page. In our case, MyKID home page. Application definition. Click on Add New Application. So in Details tab, we need to provide the application meta information like name of the application, owner of the application, revoker of the application, description, application type, all those things. Provide the application name as Active Directory and owner. Let me, in last session we have we used owner and revoker as single user. Now we'll do one thing. We'll create one. I have created one work group called test AD admins. So I'm using that work group as owners. So what is the use of work group? Work groups are created to assign responsibilities to some identities to approve, reject, like approve work items, reject work items, to make action on that items. Group of peoples can act upon that items. So in work group of identities we add as a one work group. So in coming session we'll discuss about work group, all those things. You as of now, I have created one work group, AD test AD admins. So application, what is the application type? Active Directory. Active Directory type direct. So provide the description. And a revoker also use test AD admins and click on native change detection, create, modify, delete. See, check this checkbox if application should be included when IdentityIQ perform native change detection during the aggregation process. So once you provide the application meta information, then go to configuration. Here in configuration tab, we need to provide the like forest configuration, domain configuration, all those things. So what is the use of IQ service configuration? Here you need to provide the like in which server IQ service is running all those things. The use of at the time of aggregation to fetch user information from Active Directory to SailPoint, we don't need IQ service configuration. Like to provision user information from SailPoint to Active Directory, we need IQ service. So in coming session, we'll discuss about how to install IQ service, all those things. As of now, I have already installed those configurations we use. Like, so this is the IQ service, host name, and IQ service default port is 5050. Forest configuration. Here we need to provide the forest configuration details. What is the default forest name? Forest name is default forest, and the global catalog server. This is the global catalog server details, and user, provide a user, provide password. Authentication type is we have two authentication types, strong and simple. Simple, manage all domains means it will manage, if you check this checkbox, it will manage all domains. Or else you need to provide, see, add, click on add. See, click on discover domains. See, these are the domains. User information present. This is the domain name. So if you check this checkbox here, you need to two types. Like here, you need to provide all domains. Or else, if you click on manage all domains, means it will default load all domains. If you check Discord schema, available domains will be coming here. If you check manage all domains, means it will manage all domains. So once you provide the once you check the checkbox manage all domains, go down in accounts session. You have to provide the search DN, like user search scope search DN and group search DN, group search scope, all those things. Like in this directory, all account information is present. Like we'll see how. See, DC means domain control, OU means organization unit. So see, Siri dot in this let's, this is like a domain control. In this we have demo. This is one organization unit. Here user information is present. So we are giving, this is the, see, we can see properties. See, security. See, object category, distinct name. See, OU demo, DC series, OU demo, DC series, comma, DC sale point, demo, comma, DC.com. This is the place where all users present. User information is present. Let's give the group information where all groups are present. Same here. Demo, here groups are present, all groups. See, these are the different groups present. For that, what we have to see, properties, attribute editor, here see distinction name. This is the directory where all groups are present. Let me copy that name, directory name, and directory details, and provide. Cancel. Groups, provide. Click on add. Just click on test connection. Test is successful. Now go to schema tab. So what is the identity attribute? Unique attribute in target application. Display attribute in the sense user friendly name. So see, Active Directory connector, like a connector is well defined connector. So like identity attribute, display attribute, in schema, all schema attributes are all are displayed because this is well defined connector. For JDBC and like JDBC and delimited applications, we need to click on discover schema, then it will load the header files, header columns of the application, like the skeleton of that application. So here we don't need to do like click on discover schema, all those things, because Active Directory is a well connector type is Active Directory connector type is well defined connector. So fully implemented connectors. So identity attribute is distinct issue name and display attribute as SM account name. Let me give SM. So mark this group member of, mark as group attribute. See, member of, it's marked as group attribute, managed entitlement multi-value. So just click on preview. Object SID as correlation key, MSDN principal name as correlation key, car license. See, these are all defined, predefined already, because this is well-defined connector. Active Directory direct connector is a well-defined connector. This MSDN principal name, mark it as correlation key. So we no need to configure anything like identity attribute, display attribute is already configured. We just name display attribute. We just change display attribute as SM account name. Identity attribute is distinct issued name, and the display attribute is SM account name, and member is managed entitlement multi-value, and type is group. Now go to groups. Identity attribute is distinct issue name, and provide SM as SM account name as display attribute. Group hierarchy is member. Group membership attribute is member. Leave it as it is. Member. Managed entitlement multi-value, mark as entitlement multi-value. And object ID MSDN. This is mark it as correlation key. Windows security identifier object. Mark it as correlation key. Just save the application. Once you done this, what is next step? Up to 4 steps we have done, like configure the application details in details tab, configure the connection details in settings tab, and check test connection. We have provided the user search scope and group search scope, and we have configured like account schema attributes, display attribute, identity attribute, all those things. These are all predefined for Active Directory connector. Configure the group schema for Active Directory. These are all predefined. So after that, go to correlation tab. What is the use of correlation? What is the use of correlation? Correlation rule, attribute based correlation, user based, like rule based correlation. What is the use of correlation? To correlate new application accounts to existing identities, we use correlation. Correlation is the concept or logic to correlate new application account to existing identities. We use correlation. We'll go with simple attribute based correlation. In last session, we have already discussed about rule based correlation, all those things. Click on new, click on next, provide the name like my key ID, active, 3, Click on next. Here we need to provide the application type, application attribute, and identity attribute. So employee number, employee ID, add SN and employee ID. SN and employee ID. Click on add. Added, just save. Once you save, here you need to select that name. Yeah, my KID Active Directory correlation. Once you select here, click on save to save the application, to save those changes. Correlation also we have defined. After that, what we have to do, we have to create task called account aggregation task to get user information from target application to sale point. We create account aggregation task to load user information. To get group information, we create account group aggregation task. Active Directory, scheme. Click on preview. User information is loading. Okay, let me see group information is loading. See, once preview in the sense it will show, it will load top 10 records and display as a pop-up, like display as a pop-up screen. Connector debug, we can see one more way, connector debug. Like in connector debug in last session, I have already discussed how to see what is the use of connector debug, all those things. To see all records, we can see like for connector to use connector debug command, we can see all users and it will display in console screen. To load user information from target application to sale point, we use account aggregation task. So let me create account aggregation task. For that, setup tasks, click on new tasks, account aggregation. Provide the task name, Active Directory. This is the task name. My key ID, Active Directory. Hyphen application hyphen account aggregation. Here you need to select the application to scan Active Directory. Click on refresh assigned and detected roles. No need to check this checkbox. We'll discuss later about this checkbox. And promote manage attribute. If you mark any attribute as managed in schema tab, if you check this checkbox, those attribute value will be available in entitlement tab. If you mark any attribute as entitlement in schema tab, that attribute value will be available in entitlement tab of the identity cube. Disable optimization of unchanged accounts means it will forcefully load all accounts for aggregation. Promote managed attribute in the sense, if you mark any attribute in schema tab as managed, and if you check promote managed attribute checkbox, it what it will do, promote managed attribute those attribute, whatever the attribute you marked as managed, those attribute value will be available in entitlement tab. Check this all and save and execute. Meanwhile, save this application once. See, as of now, we don't have any user accounts. See, 0 accounts. Once you finish this task, it will load users from Active Directory to SailPine. Just save this application. Yeah, Active Directory application. Just three check boxes. Refresh assigned and detected role. It will refresh the roles. Disable optimization of unchanged accounts in the sense it will forcefully load all accounts for aggregation. Promote managed attribute in the sense if you check this checkbox, it will whatever the attribute you marked as managed in the schema tab, if you check this checkbox, those attribute values will be available in entitlement tab. Just click on save and execute. Go to task result and see what happened. Task is executing or not. My KID Active Directory application account aggregation task is pending, means running. We'll see. Account aggregation task will load user information. One more task we have to create because we need to load group information. For that, we need to create task called group aggregation task. Click on refresh. Still pending. Let me wait some more time. Refresh once. Still running. Just close this one. See, my KID Active Directory underscore application underscore account aggregation is completed. So let me open this one and see what happened. See, application scanned, Active Directory, account scanned 251, identities updated 251, extra entitlements changes 251, managed entitlement promoted 75, identity entitlements created 831. Action, correlate new account, correlate new account. See, through correlation rule, we are correlating new application accounts to existing identity cubes. Generally, identity cubes create based on authoritative applications. Let me open identities. Go to identities, identity warehouse. Let me open any one identity like Aaron.Nichols. See, application Active Directory application link is added or not. Attributes. If you mark any attribute, see, let me open application Active Directory. If you mark any attribute as entitlement managed, if you mark any attribute as managed entitlement multi-value in the sense it is holding multiple values. See here, we mark go to configuration schema. Go to schema. See, we mark member as multi-valued managed and entitlement. We mark member as entitlement. If you mark any attribute as entitlement, this attribute value will be available in entitlement tab of the identity cube. Let me open identity cube, Aaron Nicholas, and go to entitlement and see. See Active Directory. If you mark any attribute as entitlement, those attribute value will be available in entitlement tab of the identity cube. See, this is one identity cube. In entitlement tab, those attribute value will be available. If you mark any attribute as managed in schema tab, those attribute value will be available in entitlement tab of the application. Go to entitlement catalog. Member of value will be available in entitlement catalog. Search with application. See, Active Directory. Member of value will be available here because we mark member as a multi-value. At the time of account aggregation, we check the checkbox called promote manage attribute. Because of that, member of value will be available in entitlement tab of the entitlement tab. So that is the use of entitlement and managed. So what is next step? We have to configure group aggregation. For that, what we have to do? To create group aggregation, what we have to do? To load groups information, what we have to do? We need to create task called group, task called account group aggregation. How we have to go to this page, setup, tasks, account group aggregation. Provide the details like load group information, provide the description, here you need to select the application, Active Directory, just select one rule called group aggregation refresh. Later in coming session we'll discuss about this rule. I'll just unselect, just save and execute. Go to task, Active Directory, my key ID underscore my key ID hyphen Active Directory hyphen account group aggregation pending. Account group aggregation success. Just open this. See, application scanned Active Directory, groups scanned 100 groups, groups created 26, groups updated 74. Just return to task. So groups information also loaded. These are the group information is loaded. To load user information like account information, we create task called account aggregation. To load group information, we create task called account group aggregation. Standard properties, object properties, and members of this group. All those things we can able to see like this. So this is how we onboard Active Directory. We integrate Active Directory with SailPoint. Let me see. In coming session, we'll discuss about how to onboard web service application and some of the JDBC application, some delimited application, all those things. So thank you. Thank you all. Just close. We have onboarded Active Directory. Conversation.